Hi all. So here I'm back with thought I would share with you guys. I'm finishing up this project. It's a little Milagra book. I've been making books in these little Milagra cases for years. Years ago when I first saw them, when I used to go to Santa Fe, and all the little stores there would carry these. And I don't know, I love them. They hang on the wall, and I just like the idea of them. One day I was in my studio working. I'm like, oh, I can make this into like a little book box. And I've been making them ever since. And this one I'm actually making for over on Patreon. I have, you guys know that I'm sharing a lot of my jelly junkadory and stuff like that over there. And I have a collector's level. And so the people that support me at that level get a piece of art every month, as well as will be in the book that I'm working on. And the Patreon is about helping sponsor that book project. So that's the big thing that's going on over there. And I'm just doing behind the scenes and in the studio stuff that I'm doing, sharing with you guys. But so that's what this is. And so I thought, well, this would be neat to show you guys because the basis of it is pretty simple. Though I put the full how I made this video over on Patreon, but no worries, because it's a basic structure that you guys could sort of like, I can show you what I'm doing here, and then you can, try it yourself. So I don't know this. I can't tell you where to get the boxes, but I believe that if you look on Etsy or on eBay, you may find someone selling these. I get them now in Mexico when I go, but sure, if any of you live in Santa Fe or live in, Albuquerque, I used to live there. It's just a short drive up the way. You can get these. But if you don't and you can't get these, you can literally use like an Altoids mint box, any of those little teeny boxes that mints come in, or sometimes homeopathic tablets and stuff still come in those kind of little metal boxes. So you can get some of those, and those, even if you just buy the boxes and then, put the mints in something else and start using the tin, you can use that. And also you can kind of take like match boxes, like the small match boxes, even though they slide in and out, you can actually fabricate them a little bit, get creative and make the top part of it a hinge, even if you just like slice on one side and structure it and then make that the hinge to the little box inside. But you can just, anything that you find is like a little small contained box you can use to make this with. So I took and I painted and I roughed it up and then painted the box this color. I wanted this sort of bronzy gold color. And so that's the structure. Now, this is what is going to fit in there. So I'm going to finish this up, but this will go down in there like that perfectly. And then it closes, the book closes on itself. And then you have this book in there with, and you can hang it on the wall, which is cute, but you still have like this little sculptural thing. So I'm going to show you that. But what it is, it's just a piece of paper that is an accordion fold. So I made this one because I really wanted it to really stuff in the box and be really full and generous. So you can just kind of figure out your height, and that'll give you the, I like to fit it in there pretty close. So normally I leave maybe about a 1/16 of an inch in there. And then you do the same thing for side to side. You just kind of figure it out side to side. And I just leave like the same thing, maybe around a 1/16 of an inch in there. Let's show you guys so you can kind of visualize. See the space in there? So you got an idea of, play around with it. It's just an accordion fold, so it won't be that difficult. So this is one that's been this is a shorter one, but I'm going to be working on this one. I'll probably be joining it to another piece. But this is on 100% cotton. This is Crane stationery stock. But for instance, you can get the 100% cotton like at Target and places like that. Southworth does one. I do like printing and doing my work on better paper. So this is a good paper. It takes the jelly printing nicely. It absorbs into the paper really beautifully, and it just becomes a foundation. So what I did is I jelly printed this paper first. Now this paper that I used in this journal is actually Reeves BFK. So I actually took my paper to another level, and I used the Reeves BFK. You can also use Arches, and I use the hot press because I like it to be this more a softer finish. The cold press is a crisper paper and has sort of a harder finish, so the ink will lay right on the top nicely. Where this paper, the ink absorbs into it a little better, and I like that. I like the way that looks. So I jelly printed it on both sides, just like this. So I used my white and my black, white paint, black ink, and a little bit of gold. And so I jelly printed on both sides to sort of get this kind of like variation in pattern. So I like the idea of using the strong print and then a bit of the ghost, and just kind of doing that throughout it. So that's what I did here. So you can see the same thing is going on. Very strong print here, some ghost here on both sides. Alrighty. And then I determined, where my front was going to be. And this is my front. And I wanted it to expand out the book with the front cover going this way. You can do it so that it opens with the front cover going that way. Doesn't matter. I did it this way. And what's going to happen is this is going to get stuck inside of there at the end. I'll show you guys that. But so then after that, I had a lot of elements. A lot of this stuff is what I got. In fact, everything that's in here in terms of ephemera is either my jelly prints, that's like one of my jelly prints that I used in here, or it's stuff that I got on my recent trip, except for this right there. I got that when I went to Australia. This little piece, I reproduced it, but the rest of it is piece that I just got when I was in my trip in Amsterdam and France, and I wanted to kind of document that in my book for my collectors club, and just put little neat pieces that came out of actual books that I purchased when I was on that trip. This right here was a neat little label that was on the cover of a book. I reproduced it because it was actually on the cover of the book, but I loved it. Here's a map that was in one of the books. This reminds me of, this book the title of it is Words Aren't Enough. And I always feel like that anyhow, that words don't express enough. And especially to my patrons, all of my patrons and those in my collectors club, I just can't thank you guys enough for supporting me on this journey. So that's what this book is about. Okay, so then I did a lot of collaging and what have you on it. So now what I'm doing, I'm gonna finish it up. I'm gonna finish up some collaging, and I'm going to do some gold leafing. So I was going to show you guys that I actually have a stamp that I've collected. It's actually a postage stamp from China, and I've collected these. And so that stamp is actually going to be put in this little book, and you'll see where I'm gonna use that as well. But I do want to do some gold leafing. So I'm gonna start off with the front here. So I want to put some gold leafing here because I'm gonna use this little piece of, it's just like a little piece of trim that I painted gold and it dried, kind of wonky. I like that. And then I also, from the same Dutch text, found 1611, which is basically 7-Eleven. I just liked the letters there. And then this was a part of a word, and it's like I just saw on go, and I like the circles because I love circles. I like the circles in here. I like the G and on go. It's like it's saying something, but it's not saying something. So that's the title of this. That just kind of replicates, words aren't enough kind of concept of the book. So what I'm going to do is I want to gold leaf the front of this, and then I'm going to stick this down. And one of the ways I like to gold leaf, I'm going to show you two ways, but this is one pretty easy way. So I want it to be a strip. I want it to be contained. So I'm actually going to put a piece of double-sided tape down. And I'll cut this off on this side as well. Okay. And using my bone folder, I'm going to burnish it. Get a really nice seal. So this is the front cover we're working on right now, finishing it up. And can you guys see it good enough? And so we're just going to remove, this is the score tape. So just take the double-sided score tape, burnish it down really well. And then it has my gold leaf here. So I'm going to take the gold leaf and a piece that's already kind of in sections we'll use. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of tape and I'm going to just lay it down on a piece of this gold. And just kind of separate it off. Be careful working with this gold because it will be everywhere. Kind of flies around because it's so thin. Okay. So now I have, you can see it really adhered to the that tape so nicely. And then just kind of take your finger, brush it away over there. And then you can even take like a really, I use a real soft brush. Like I'll use my calligraphy brush. This is like deer hair. And just with a very light touch, it'll get the rest of it off. So that's one easy way to gold leaf is just use some double-sided tape. Can't go wrong. It'll pick it up good every time and it'll stay on there for years to come. Okay, so far we have that little element. Let me see if I can bring this down closer to the table so you guys can see maybe a little better. I'll bring it down a little closer. You will be able to see this good. Alrighty, so now what I want to do is I want to lay this down right. I wanted that gold leafing to be a bit underneath it, so that's perfect. And now I'm going to lay that down. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the tacky, Aleene's tacky glue, and just kind of run it right on the. Got to remember that I brought this closer now, so I've got a tighter frame to work in. I just took a piece of this and I'd already cut it to the length. And now I'm going to just kind of put it right in this area, right above this little, this actually is a little chop seal that was on a very old Dutch book that I got at a flea market. I mean, I reproduced it because it was inside this journal. It was like from 19 something, 1900 something, pretty old. And it was of a Chinese exhibition that was going on there in Amsterdam at the time. So see, oh, I love this. Love it. And this way I'm showing you, I've got a really clean edge. And then I'm going to show you how we can gold leaf and kind of make it be a little less. But I kind of wanted it to be structured because I wanted this 1611 to sit right above it. And so I kind of wanted a line, you know, so it kind of looked a little bit more not so random. So now I'm going to put that down and I'm going to use some of this tacky glue. I like using a PVA when I'm working on my books. And actually I have a different PVA, but I don't want to pull it out for just these couple little things because it doesn't really matter. This is good enough for what I'm doing, but I don't really want to use my glue stick because I want to make sure that this stays stuck forever. I don't want it to maybe accidentally pop up. The Yoo-hoo is pretty good for like really for permanence, but you know, when I do my book arts, I don't like to You know, I don't want to have to worry. Okay, let me turn this upside down. And I'm just going to kind of bone fold it from the back because I really want to make sure I get a good seal, but I don't want that to go sliding around the place. So I just want to make sure that this is on there nicely. So you see this is looking good. I did it a little closer so you guys can see. Um, that. Okay, so now this little title thing that I had, I wanted to kind of integrate into the chop because I don't want it to sort of stand out like I don't want it to stand out like it's another word. I just wanted to kind of integrate into all the mark making, the movement that's going on there. So it almost just looks like it's another, just sort of part of the marks. So we'll glue that down. Put a little bit of this double-sided. Double-sided. Oh my goodness. This tacky glue. So let's get this right in here. Like I said, I wanted to kind of integrate, sort of be a part of it, almost like you don't see it until you see it kind of thing. Here again, I'll flip it over and now that's the cover. I love it. This little book. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a couple little spots. So here you can just use like a tacky glue and you just kind of just put, and this tacky glue is good because it is tacky, and that's the kind of feel that you want your book to have, your paper to have before you put the gold leaf down. And so I'm doing it here too. Just so now that that's nearly dry, I'm gonna get a piece of gold leaf and I'm just gonna lay it right over the spot. Try to use the finger that you didn't put the glue down with because then this will be sticking to it for sure. And you just kind of put bits and pieces over the top until you get what you want. Just kind of filling in the spots there and then come over here. And I put it here. So let's lay a piece down there. And it's just like embellishing the book with little bits of gold leafing and just let it dry before you start burnishing it. Just let it sit there and dry. So see, we've done, I hope that was in frame. Oh my goodness. Let me just hang this up because now that I've brought it a little closer to you guys, trying to bring it closer, I'm like working further. I'm working at the place I normally work. Okay, so here, you see we put some down there, just little bits and pieces. And there, just to kind of add a little, I'm gonna do the same thing over here and then at the very end. So I think I'm gonna put some right inside of the cover here. And so you just really want to put a dab down and then you just kind of spread it out. You want to make sure that there's no globs. Don't want any globs. And at the same time, you want to just figure out where I want to put. Just put a little bit down over here. You don't want any globs. And you want it to be tacky. So as you're spreading it around, just kind of keep on lifting your finger up and you'll feel it getting tacky. And then at the same time, so you'll know that that's good. So we'll get another piece out of here. So this right here. Put some of that down there. And I'm gonna come down here with this piece because I had a bigger area that I was actually putting stuff in, so that'll do that. Just kind of move back and forth and get it all, where you want. And you can, if you're using your finger, you can kind of feel where the extra glue is, and then just pick up pieces of the gold leafing. Just keep on laying it, and I just keep on laying it down until it doesn't pick any more off my finger, and I can tell, okay, I got it all. Like it's no, I don't have any places left where there is glue, but there wasn't any. That's one of the ways of doing it. You can also take a full sheet and just lay it a lot over it, but I pretty much know how to do this now, so I don't, I just take my bits and pieces. Look at that. That looks so good. That really looks good. Yeah. I'm trying to get the glare away where you can still see the pieces sticking up. But that's just a nice little element in the corner above. This is one of my intuitive markings that I did on some handmade paper. I did it kind of sort of big. Okay. So now while that's drying, let's finish it up by so the stamp I want here in the back, but I really wanted to put the gold leafing around it because I really wanted it to stand out. So I'm actually going to put a lot of gold leafing on the back of this one because I really want it to stand out around my stamp, and I want to lay it down so you can see how I put, you see the glue? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of rub it out like that. And this is the end page. I kind of wanted it to have this sort of, when you got to the end of it, this sort of shrine kind of look. So now what I'm gonna do is, this is a nice kind of piece there. So I want to just lay this whole thing down on it. Try to grab as much of it as I can. Yeah, see? So I grabbed up a lot. That was good. So there's still some here at the top. So I'll just take some of these pieces here and kind of keep on putting it around the side. And this piece down here is extra, so we'll just pull it off. Kind of fill in some of these places that still are a little tacky. Okay. Alrighty. That's good. People are starting to move around in the house, so if you hear the noise, it's just unavoidable morning sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and while that's drying, we're gonna come back to this other side and we'll just clean off because this is dry now. So we'll just kind of use our brush again and just clean away some of the gold leafing. And that way you get a nice clean thing going on there. Same thing here. I'll do it close so you can see. You see like this little pieces are sticking up. So what we're going to do is just so here we have, you can see that cleaned off really nice. Oh, it's kind of close. Okay, it's cleaned off really nicely. So same thing here. We'll just get all this off. I'm going to get all that off. And same thing here. So we just get all that off. And so, the more it dries, the better. And then you got all these little pieces. So now this is going to actually go down right over there like that. So I'm trying to cover this up. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm getting rid of some of this. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do is put this down. And even though it's adhesive on the back, of course, I'm going to not lick the stamp and put it down. I'm just gonna cover it with some more of the tacky glue. You can hear all the background noise. Sorry about that. It's just my house has this open kind of loft area, and where I'm sitting to do my videos, it's all quiet in the morning until people get going. So I guess, no matter how many times I say, can you guys talk lower? Guys just don't talk low, I think. So yeah, just trying to finish this up. So yeah. Okay, so now that's done. That actually looks really good there. Look at that. Let me see. Can you see it? So it's like the gold, so much light. You see the gold just kind of is framing the stamp. Thank you, because you guys are kind of being loud down there. I'm trying to tell my viewers here to excuse you, but if you all don't mind, I'm almost finished. Okay, thanks for the coffee. So, okay. So that's looking good. I love it. So now we're going to go ahead and put this in the book. This is the end page. Oh, I love this little book. Oh my goodness, I love this type of thing. So I'm going to actually see that fits right down in there, really nice and neat. And so at the end, that's going to be like the end piece where, it's sort of like it looks like it belongs in this little, like a little shrine page, like it belongs in the book like there. So anyway, what I'm using is the double-sided score tape. I think this is the best thing because metal to paper. The other thing I used to use in days gone by is I used to use, let me get another piece, E6000. Because E6000 binds everything, paper to metal, metal to metal, metal to glass. I'm just going to overlap this one because I want to make sure it's good adhesion. But I find that this score tape is very strong, it's very sticky, and it does a good job as well. So I use this, but if you don't have score tape, you can definitely use the E6000. And everybody carries that, Michael's, Walmart, and just get your E6000 glue and glue the back up and just give it time to set it up, put a little bit of weight on it so it sets up nicely. And that will also, here we are, that will also work nicely. So now I'm going to take my whole book, close it down. So now it's important for me to get this thing in here right. So I'm going to just kind of make sure that it fits properly, it closes. Yep, I'd say that's good. See, it's in there now. Look at that. Got one time to get it right. Perfect. Love it. So the whole little thing closes down. That little hinge on the side here. Oh, I love it. So see, that's, sorry about the glare. Let me try to see if I can get it. How do I do this? Okay, there you go. It's my light, my softbox, so that it's nice and bright, but then that little light, she gets in the way. So that's the cover. Nice, yeah? And then, so I'll open it up so you guys can see. So it pops right up. It's beautiful. It's so architectural as well. I mean, you literally could just have it out as like a sculptural kind of book piece because it stands up nicely. So you can literally put it on a shelf if you want to display the whole book. And it's two-sided, so you can just enjoy it from both sides. And then inside, you still have this little image that's captured in there like that, which is Just so super cool. And that. And then it also closes all the way down. And because it has this little hook on the back, you know, you literally can just hang it on the wall and just have it as a little place that, you know, you walk by and look at them. And I have these all over. I make these. I just love them. So there you are. So I just wanted to show you guys how to finish, how to make one of these. You know, you're just going to get a box, do an accordion fold, jelly print it, do collaging on it like I did. I showed you how to do some really easy peasy gold leafing. Gold leafing, a lot of times people stay away from it because they just feel like if you go with the technical directions that you're given, you feel like, oh my God, I'm not ever going to get this right. But I've been gold leafing for so many years that, you know, I've discovered a lot of tricks. And this is such an easy way of doing it. You can either use the double-sided tape like we did here, a little bit of tacky glue, as long as it's tacky, take your time with it, and it will last. It will stay on your journal, on your books, and work beautifully. And then you just adhere this into the case with the double-sided tape like we did. And there you are, a wonderful little accordion folded books structure in a box, a little Milagra. Alrighty. So trying to show you guys my little paint hands. I'll take a still of this too and put it up so you guys can see it really good. There. Oh, wow. The focusing gods came around. I love it. Okay. All right, guys. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.